Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today we will talk about the Supreme Court case Brown versus Board of Education. This case has caught our attention because it helped African Americans gain rights. This case also created the Civil Rights Act. I agree with this case 100%. I believe that blacks should have as much rights or more than whites. This also talked about the separate but equal doctrine created by the Plessy v. Ferguson. Plessy v. Ferguson was very similar to Brown v. Board of Education. Plessy created the separate but equal doctrine, and they were separate but they weren't equal. Blacks had sucky facilities. Plessy v. Ferguson and Brown v. Board were not very different at all. Plessy v. Ferguson made segregation constitutional as long as the facilities were just as good as they were for the whites.
Another case that is similar to Brown versus Board is Briggs versus Elliott. They only asked for school buses just like the whites did, and when their petitions were ignored, they challenged segregation itself. Besides the case Briggs versus Elliott, there was a case called Davis versus County School Board. This case was about how black kids could only go to black schools. This case was one of 5 that was combined with the case Brown versus Board of Education.
The minority groups and members of the civil rights movement were buoyed by the Brown decision. Without specific directions for implementation, of proponents of judicial activism believed the Supreme Court had appropriately used its position to adapt the basis of the Constitution not done. Another thing related was the Little Rock Nine. It was a group of African American students enrolled in Little Rock Central High, followed by in 1957. Their enrollment was followed by the Little Rock Crisis, in which the students initially prevented from entering the racially segregated school by Orville Faubus, the governor of Arkansas.
That this case started was segregation and unfair treatment. It really started when Linda Brown's daughter had to walk miles to a black school when there was a white school just 7 blocks from her house. Topeka School District refused to enroll Brown's daughter, and the school that they had to go to, they had to walk 7 blocks to a bus and then get on the bus, drive 2 miles, get off the bus, and walk 3 more blocks just to go to a black school.
We think that segregation is unconstitutional.
You see it?
It might not be constitutional, but blacks will never be the same as whites.
That is racist. Blacks should have as much rights as whites.
They shouldn't have as much rights.
Why do you say that, Travis?
Because they are black.
That doesn't mean anything.
Yes, it does.
They are still humans, aren't they?
Yes, but they are black.
But aren't they still human?
Yes.
Okay, then why should they be treated differently?
Yes, they should.
Why?
Because they are black.
So what does that mean?
They will never be the same as whites.
They are humans and should be treated like humans.
They are humans, but they are black.
So you will hate someone just because of the color of their skin?
Yes.
That's a whole new level of racism.
Correct. Blacks will never be treated like whites.
Why?
Because they are black.
I think the jury reached a verdict. Brown wins because segregation is unconstitutional, and it's not fair for whites to have rights and blacks not to. Blacks are humans too. I get what your point is, and I get what your point is, but he definitely has more evidence than you do.
This is how they used to treat black people.
Hey, I like you.